Hi everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Thursday to you and your family. Obviously taking a look at Bitcoin and really hoping to understand what the regular market's doing, how that applies to Bitcoin, and of course, what other alts might be appropriate to invest in, just as a general consensus there. But regardless of how you look at it, the whole point is to make sure that you can do this better, right? So if you can learn something here, a glimmer of knowledge would be fantastic. Comment below, let me know if it's impacted you positively. And to all my subscribers that have been following me for a while now, thank you so much for your support. Deeply appreciate it. And if you do want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. You can obviously see it on the banners here. It's a good place to register. Consider joining before month end too, because we are increasing the rates and just kind of adjusting things overall to adjust for the new website that we're rolling out with. It's going to have a tremendous amount of better features, just going to be much more user-friendly. And obviously there's signals included as well. So when I send out my signals, we take profits. Yesterday, for example, on 2 days, we took some nice short profits from Ethereum, hit our first target. That trade is still open. Litecoin is also still open at 58% in 2 days. And then of course Near, this one technically already closed, but we skimmed a nice 86% off of that on 3 targets. So as you can see, we use a trailing stop loss, basically it's a trailing take profit as well. Basically just a really nice, easy way to secure your profits without even doing a thing. You don't lift a finger. You basically just set it up and it's good to go. So you can automatically follow that if you'd like. We're also using Bitget as the best exchange in the world. I don't say that lightly. I've used a lot of exchanges in my day, been trading for a long time, and I can tell you this is the best possible exchange. They also offer a nice $10,000 prize pool monthly to my community, which is fantastic. It's just based on profit and loss ratio and trading volume. Really easy to qualify for that. So again, all you gotta do is use the link down below to qualify and effectively, just be part of that. You will use and need to use a VPN. So I partnered with ExpressVPN as well. Been using them for a very long time. Super awesome to be able to have them at your service, so to speak. They give you an extra 3 months with a 12-month plan, and they're already very inexpensive. So be sure to check that out. Thank you, Express and Bitget, for allowing my community just to have a much better trading experience. So taking a look here at Bitcoin, it's pretty straightforward. In what we're experiencing right now. We're starting to see that digression, the price is coming back down, RSI is starting to taper off. While there is potential for the price to bounce off of 70 on the RSI, which does happen, we haven't hit that point yet. There is a potential for 20,500 to hold as a support level. We've seen one candle wick yesterday, and of course there's a mild amount of volume at this price point as well from previous. You can see this exact resistance level here working as a potential support level here. It's pretty much parallel with that. So see that line there? That is very nice. So again, there's potential for 20,500 to be the new bouncing point. Once again, we want a little bit more consolidation before we leg up, but this is very nice to see this kind of market stimulation, essentially allowing a lot of alts to kind of jump up here nicely. Just bear in mind, a lot of profits to be taken to the downside for some altcoins, which is why we took 3 nice profit targets from yesterday's activity and the day before. So just be mindful that with this downtrend may not be over yet. It would make sense for it to continue further. But once again, I think the lowest point which we'll see this regression would be 19,700, right in that range here, the 1.618, because again, 0.618 levels on Fibonacci are very consistent. So there's a good chance if we do lose this shelf here at 20,500, we should see the mid-19s as a potential retest. I'm looking for a long position in this area. That's generally what my thought process is. But everything else is looking pretty good. Once again, we got the simple moving average 200 right there at the 19.6, 19.7 range. So that's going to reiterate and reaffirm that nice support area if we drop down that low. Again, something to kind of be mindful of. We've also got the 50-day SMA working its way up on the 4-hour at 20,500. That's pretty standard. A lot of times that will work with ascending trends, and we're seeing that here. So it'd be interesting to see if that actually holds or if we actually lose that. Okay, if we lose it, we're more so bearish on the short term, and if we hold that level, there's a decent chance we might see a continuation further up from here. Okay. Again, we got a lot of resistance at the 21,300 mark, but between here and there, we should be range bound for a little while, either in this range or we lose this range, come back down, and probably range bound for some time, the immediate foreseeable future. But for right now, we're looking good here. We got that nice little bounce off of 50 on the RSI, coincidentally, right there at 20,500, and we've got a potential convergence on the MACD, whereas we can see it's starting to dissipate, that momentum to the downside. So mostly positive stuff here as well from Bitcoin. Really like what we see here. 1 hour, of course, we want to kind of recognize here as well that There's not a lot of consistency in TD sequential, really. Like, we don't have a lot of overextensions minus this most recent one that came down. This first initial candle wick gave us a lot of those profit targets on altcoins. So that's why I try to reiterate, when you're trading altcoins, be very careful of what Bitcoin is doing, because when it corrects itself like it did, just say a 3% correction from Bitcoin, that would be a 6 to 9% correction from altcoins. So oftentimes when you have stop losses that are super tight, you can get stopped out. You want to just be kind of careful in how you articulate your trades. We have a specific trade strategy ourselves, and it works very, very well. But again, bear market strategies need to adjust. We've made a recent adjustment also to our short strategies that we have. Once again, all well and good, but just things that you have to constantly be evolving with, because you can't take the same strategy and apply it in every single scenario. You have to be dynamic and adjust. But what I'm meaning by that here is that we have a nice little range here. We can see we're up to a 5, down to a 6. Really just not overextending much at all. It's kind of this consistency here. One thing that's kind of good, and this is a slight positive, we do have higher lows and higher highs in the hourly. It's a bit of a stretch, but if you kind of take a look, you can actually see it. It is definitely there. So just be mindful that this is potentially working its way up, but it's still too early to tell. I think the 21,000 range will be a stronger resistance level than we would like. So right here at this level, we should experience some kind of resistance at 21,000, 21,100 range. Okay. So interesting to see if we can break back through that level, because you can see it worked as a support for a while. Now it's going to be tested as a resistance. All right, so that's kind of the hourly there. One last thing to mark is the Ichimoku cloud. Now, if we were to close above, just say 21,000 here today, there is potential we might see further upside, because once again, the cloud is kind of telling us here that we've lost that momentum to the downside. We are starting to kind of average out here. Lagging spans not free and clear of price action is right within. So right now, at this point, it's basically a no-go. You don't want to take any shorts or longs. You should have trimmed your short by now, and if you're considering a long position, it's a little too early to tell. Right? It's kind of premature. Again, I like to have confirmation when I take trades. That's why I take less trades and more successful more often, just because I like to wait for confirmation. Not everyone can do that, and it's okay if you don't, but learn from your mistakes if you are over trading, because that's a very, very common problem. Again, day trading, different story from swing trading. I kind of have a day trader / swing trader mentality. I kind of apply both theories in my trades. They're kind of designed for both. We can get our targets within minutes or hours. Sometimes it takes weeks. Right? And that's just kind of the way that it goes. I like to trade like that because I don't have to be hands-on all day long, right? Again, different strokes for different folks. You like the day trader, white hair mentality, go for it. Perfectly fine. Everyone has their own trading styles. So that being said, we're looking overall fairly decent for Bitcoin. I don't see any adverse scenarios here. It doesn't look like it's pushing super hard to break 20,500. That should be the immediate support. Just know if we break below that or close below that soon, there's a good chance we might see somewhere in the range of 19.7 as the next retest. I particularly hope so, just so we can go ahead and close out some of our short positions here and then start with some longs at that 19.7 mark. That would be a perfect place for bounce. But again, there's no guarantee it's going to bounce to that level either, right? It's just a very common Fibonacci retracement level. We have a decent amount of volume at that range, and I think it's going to hold if it were to come down that low. But we're still building up a range here profile, whereas we don't have enough volume specifically there. Now there are a lot of buy orders, of course, at this level. So nowadays, the way things are with this new money in the market, 20,500 appears to be a good value. That's what people are seeing, right? So again, different scenarios here depending on how you look at it. But all in all, I think we're looking pretty decent for Bitcoin. I don't expect a massive correction if we were to have one. We could very well see somewhere in the 30 to 40 plus range. But we got a lot of resistance at the 22,000 to 25,000 mark. So that's going to be a strong resistance until it isn't, right? We'll draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels here soon and kind of see what that looks like in the coming videos. But for now, I think we should just kind of wait for confirmation and go from there. Once again, that works well for me. I hope it works well for you too. Patience is a very important aspect of being a good trader. I hope you learned something here today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Jump on in there before the rates do adjust here later this month. Got a new website rolling out roughly within the next week. It's going to be really, really cool. So congrats to all my community members and everyone else that can benefit from that. It's going to be really awesome with some live market data. I can't wait for it. Hope you have a good one. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.